There are cars that everyone has heard of. Then there are cars that are just as iconic that only real ones know about. In 1985, Audi released a car that cost over $1 million to build. It broke every rule and almost ended the entire company. This would later be known as one of the most terrifying rally cars of the 1980s. But this video isn't just about an iconic rally car. This video is about how Audi took a risky gamble that redefined what a car could be. A gamble that turned a standard family car into a legend that completely changed the game. And a brand known only for luxury into a symbol of innovation, engineering, and full send. This is the story of how Audi's obsession with traction led to one of the wildest machines ever built. The Sport Quattro S1E2, $1 million mistake that became a legend. So what made this car so iconic? What was the big gamble that Audi made, and why was it such a mistake? To get the answers to these questions, we have to first understand the era. In the early 80s, Audi was seen as a boring, safe German luxury car brand. Audi had practical sedans, decent tech, but they were far from being known for their performance. Their biggest issue was that they lacked credibility in racing. No one took them seriously in the performance world. So in short, at this time, Audi was a decent brand, but overly safe and ultimately lifeless for enthusiasts. Then everything started to change with the obsessed Ferdinand Pike. In the early 1980s, most rally cars were rear or front wheel drive. Audi's engineers believed that they could change that. They wanted all four wheels to be moving all the time. What they wanted was a performance-focused system that could handle high speeds on loose gravel. The truth is, everyone thought they were crazy. All-wheel drive was heavy, complex, and considered way too slow for racing. But Ferdinand, he understood that traction was an invisible force that decides who wins and who doesn't. So while other car makers chased more horsepower, Audi chased more grip. And that obsession led to the creation of the Quattro, Audi's revolutionary all-wheel drive system. It was a system that changed racing and Audi forever. This led to the birth of Group B. Group B was created by an organization called the FIA. They were essentially the lawmakers of motorsports, from rally racing all the way to Formula One. Around the same time, Audi's next level all-wheel drive system was proving that traction could beat horsepower. Group B allowed teams to build almost anything that they could have dreamed of. The only catch was they had to produce at least 200 road legal versions. The cars were fast, light, and brutally powerful. They were also faster and stronger than anything that the world had ever seen. Drivers had to be fearless because one wrong move and your car would be flipping or crashing at uncontrollable speeds. In 1985, Audi went all in. They poured over $1 million into a single car. And again, this was in 1985. So adjusted for inflation, we'd be looking at roughly $3 million per car. For a company known for sedans and luxury, this was an insane risk. Each S1E2 was handcrafted artistry. You got a turbocharged engine, carbon fiber panels, a short wheelbase, and all-wheel drive. And on top of that, there were only a few made, which meant if it failed, Audi could have lost everything. It was a gamble that nobody else was willing to take. But despite the major risk, Audi still built it. The Sport Quattro S1E2, a car so extreme that they say that it felt like it was actually alive. Under the hood was a tiny 2.1 liter engine that made over 600 horsepower. And because of this revolutionary all-wheel drive system, this S1 achieved 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds on gravel. And to put that into perspective, to this day, this 1985 Audi has a quicker 0 to 60 than a C8 Z06, a BMW M5 Competition, the Mercedes-AMG GTR, the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, the Nissan GTR, and many more modern cars. The body of this car was wild and quirky. It had a giant wing, flared fenders, vents everywhere, and the crazy part is it was all functional and it was all performance focused. Drivers would refer to driving it as trying to tame a dragon. It scared everybody, including the engineers who built the car. But even with all of that progress and success, the grass wasn't greener on the other side. Audi learned that Group B had a dangerous side. There were no safety limits, crowds standing in the forests. Drivers were both heroes and gamblers during every single race. The S1E2 pushed the limits. Accidents started piling up, spectators were injured, and even some drivers unfortunately lost their lives. The FIA pulled the plug in 1986 and Group B was gone, and Audi's rally team was unfortunately dissolved. It was the very obsession that made them great that almost destroyed them. But fortunately, there was one saving grace. While their focus was solely on racing, their efforts impacted the brand along the way. And from all that chaos came something greater than they could have imagined. Audi may have lost the championship, but the Quattro had proved that traction could beat raw power. All-wheel drive has been at the heart of every Audi from that day forward. From road cars to sedans and even today's electric vehicles that Audi makes, they all owe their confidence to this S1E2. Every modern all-wheel drive Audi has the S1E2 engineering built right into it. So the S1E2 wasn't a financial success. In fact, it almost completely bankrupted Audi, but it also changed the entire game. That $1 million mistake actually became the foundation for the brand, giving it the cult-like following following that it has today. To this day, the S1E2 lives through modern icons like the RS3, the RS6, the R8, and even cars that aren't Audis like the GR Yaris and the A45 AMG Mercedes. Decades later, engineers still chase the same feeling that the S1E2 would give. Audi's multi-million-dollar gamble didn't just make history, but much more importantly, it made Audi who they are today. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.